everyone, I'm Mutz Marsh, the Eddie Van Halen geek. In this channel, I explain how I understand and apply the Eddie Van Halen technique. 90% of the phrases I play are influenced by Eddie. That's why I call my guitar style the 5150 style, after Eddie. I think there are some useful guitar techniques for beginners as well, so I'd be happy if you could take a look at it in your spare time. I hope you all enjoy it. This time, I'm going to try this phrase as the third part of 5150 style. I want to explain it in the key of A, so please hold your index finger at the 5th fret position. This phrase is just like the one I did in the last video, right? Yes, as you may have guessed, the phrase I did last time was done using the second string, and this time I'm going to do it using the first string. If you want to check out the previous videos, please access them from the links in the overview section. Now next, recall the movement that combined number 1 and number 2. Do you remember? I'll replace this second and third string phrase with the first and second string, as is this time. Like this. Fingering and picking are exactly the same. Comparison of both. Last time, I added a flat fifth by sliding down the second string to 4th fret. This time, I add a major 7th by sliding down the first string to 4th fret. Like the flat fifth, the major 7th is also a note that is not originally part of the pentatonic scale, but the addition of these notes increases the variety of melodies. The availability of semitones allows for development into a variety of melodies and is very useful in terms of fingering. This series of movements after the slide down to the 4th fret of the first string is my own original phrase based on number 2. Eddie also uses a lot of phrases on the 4th fret of the first string, but with a somewhat different flavor. I will cover that soon, so please look forward to it. In fact, you don't play this phrase out of the blue. You need to introduce it from a natural flow, right? For example, how about playing this phrase before number 1? This 9th fret note is very Eddie-like, isn't it? Do you recognize this phrase from Eruption? I made this movement by imitating this. Extend the little finger to the major 3rd degree. That's the point. How about this for the final closing phrase? The green dot is an example of another way to play the 5th fret pentatonic. The descending melody basically follows this green dot, starting from the 1st string at 5th fret. But the key point is the 3 notes per string form with semitones and so on in between the pentatonic scale. This is very effective in creating a smoother movement. The phrase itself is my original, but I learned all the moves down 5 notes, rhythm, accents, and picking from Eddie. Especially this move of starting from up picking and going down 5 notes is very versatile and can be applied to any music. I'll be explaining this as well in the near future, so stay tuned. It is my opinion that these semitones can be used anywhere and anytime. I am sure Eddie feels the same way, so I encourage everyone to feel free to add out-of-scale notes in their own way. Even if a note seems to disrupt the harmony when stretched long, it doesn't when played fast, right? In other words, not everything has to notes right. I think there are actually many cases like that. I think Eddie's playing proves this. What is the right notes to begin with? It's more important to judge with your own ears than with a theoretical book. And please note that I'm playing the major third again at the end. The major third degree of key A is the C sharp note. This major third degree is very important as Eddie's favorite note, so be sure to keep it in mind. In Van Halen songs, for example, the last part of this melody in I'm the One. This phrase from Eruption that I just played. Eddie also using the major third degree at the end of this tapping phrase. This is very bluesy, isn't it? Just a little bit of major third degree mixed in, and you instantly get a strong blues feeling, don't you? The blues feeling here can be paraphrased as using notes that belong to the major pentatonic. Mixing major pentatonic notes into minor pentatonic phrases, and vice versa, is the basic blues approach. In this case, the 7th fret of the 2nd string also belongs to major pentatonic. It has a slightly different vibe than the minor pentatonic, right? It sounds brighter. For example, the 7th fret of the 2nd string and the 8th fret of the 2nd string play different roles. This is the interesting thing about the blues. It's very deep. Eddie is not a genuine blues player, but he actively uses the blues approach in his hard and loud rock music. This is one of the most important characteristics to describe Eddie. In the blues, it is very common to create a flow from the minor third to the major third to the tonic. The phrase I just played was like that, wasn't it? Minor third degree, major third degree, tonic. This must be remembered. There is a way to play the tonic and then immediately lower it to 7th. That would be Eddie style. Tonic is too conventional, right? In such a case, I use 7th. Yes, well, that's all for this issue. How did it go? Pentatonic first string extension. How to use semitones. Major 3rd degree. These are the 3 main points I'd like to make this time. They are all important, so take your time to understand and learn them. Again, what I show in the 5150 style video is just an example of how I understand and utilize the Eddie Van Halen technique. There are 10 different interpretations of the technique for every 10 people, so it's up to you how you use what you learn. It may sound contradictory to say this when I am in the position of posting videos on YouTube, but to be clear, the most important part of music and guitar cannot be learned from YouTube videos. It is important to be willing to use your ears to learn and to be generous with your time. It is very important to feel the nuance and feeling with your ears. Even if it is wrong, it is very important to spend time thinking, how is it played, and try this and that, and it is very important to spend that time. There are no shortcuts. That is why I want you to spend as much time as you can with the notes. That's what I think. The watchword is keep on rocking, right? See you soon. Bye bye.